With all that, joining us now, Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry, who's the chair of the House Freedom Caucus. So, Scott, great to see you, okay? Biden said no cuts to the budget, but he's already acknowledged something's going to happen. How do you read this? I mean, if there's not going to be any budget savings, then what are all those White House staffers doing in the basement of the Capitol today?
Look, thanks, Larry. There's going to have to be budget savings, and most people get it. Look, even President Biden said the pandemic's over, right? So why are we spending, $100 billion on COVID, sending that out to where, God knows where, when we can apply it to this debt? Every family understands this. You don't buy things that you don't need when you can't afford the bills. You put money that you have sitting there towards the bill to pay it down. And so this is a proposal that was largely authored by folks in the Freedom Caucus. The conference has taken it up. It is the only bill, Larry, that has passed. President Biden can talk about anything he wants to, but this really has to happen between the House and the Senate. The Senate hasn't had one hearing. They haven't marked up any bill. Now, you know that there are 43 to 45 senators and Republicans that have said they will not vote for a clean debt ceiling. That's what President Biden said he wanted. He can't get that out of the Senate. The reason Chuck Schumer's not moving any legislation is because they can't pass anything. So it's the same old story, Larry. When you can't do anything, when you don't have anything to offer yourself, you go to smear and fear, which was then followed by lying and denying. And who knows what's next? I've heard some fantastic claims of what the president might try and do to get through this. But really, all they have to do is roll their sleeves up. If they can pass something, great. But if they can't pass something, you know what? The House did pass something. They can move that. It can go right to the floor in the Senate. They can pass it, and we can be done with this, and we can get on to dealing with the next crisis, which is happening in a couple hours, which is the crisis at the border, or 100 other things that are concerning the American people. This is a manufactured crisis. He has nowhere to turn. He should just put the bill on the floor and move on.
Well, Scott, I think you and McCarthy and the whole caucus, you've won. I mean, Biden wanted a clean debt. Biden wanted a clean debt bill. He's not getting it. He's already acknowledged he's not going to get it. You won that battle. Biden even said yesterday, I don't know whether it was a slip of the tongue or what, he said he could live with clawing back the unspent COVID money, which is a.
Well, how do you defend it, Larry? how can he defend it? So yeah, look, we've won the first skirmish. The speaker has gone over, seen the president, and of course the president, is demanding more of the same stuff. And the speaker rightly said, "Hey, what is your offer? What have you passed? Because we passed something in the House of Representatives. You know how this works. We pass something, the Senate passes something, we work it out, and we send it to you. Well, we don't have anything to work it out with, and until we do, this is the only game in town." The speaker is absolutely right. He did win this round. We got to continue to win the rounds. And so that we win for the American people. That's who really needs to win here, is the American people.
So you've got White House staff with congressional staff meeting today, I'm told, in the Capitol, in the Speaker's office or someplace nearby. It's important, though, because you got Senate staff in there. It's a little tricky. Got to stay online. I mean, you all have made the roadmap. I think you can get virtually everything you want. But my question is...
nothing we're asking for is unreasonable, right? This is actually, the spending level is President Obama's last budget. So for people that are saying, oh, you're cutting everything and the world's going to be caught on fire or what have you, none of that is true. If President Biden had just stayed in office, we'd be spending at this level anyhow. So there really isn't anything they can complain about. Joe Biden voted for the very same work requirements that we sent him in this bill. And who's against people in America working?
Right. I think you'll get the energy permitting. I think you'll absolutely get that.
I hope so.
I mean, the whole bill is pro-growth and anti-inflation. You just put in a speed, the way I read it, you just put in a speed limit on the budget spending. After this incredible, $6 trillion that nobody wanted, nobody needed except Biden and the socialists in his administration. I mean, a speed limit. What's wrong with the speed limit?
There's nothing wrong with a speed limit, especially with an administration unbridled is spending the American taxpayers' money on a woke, weaponized government that we can't afford and that most of America doesn't want. They don't want the oppressive federal government beating them down every day, and they certainly don't want to fund that with their hard-earned tax dollars.
You got it. Scott Perry, thank you for weighing in. We wanted to hear it from you. I like the smile, and it sounds like you got some good momentum, so we appreciate it very much.
We do.